Our friend Jack Burnett is with us today from the Old Farmers Almanac, and we're here to talk today about the winter forecast, winter arriving next week. Jack, you guys have it dubbed as the season of shivers for the US. Is that going to be the same for Canada, and in particularly our area here in Lloydminster?
Yeah, it's what we call the cold hard truth, Stacy. So far, so good or so bad, as you see. But yeah, we're looking for a cold winter around this time of year. That is to say, overall, it's not going to be that bad. But the real cold spells we see starting like right now, actually, if you look in your 2022 yellow book with a hole in the corner, and actually going through the end of January with a little time out in the second week of January. But we see the real heavy siege of cold, beginning like right now and more or less going that far with a little break. The snow, on the other hand, it's going to be spread out. There's no question about it. Lloydminster and your area, that's what it is. But we really see the heavy duty snow coming in two more doses. The first one in the middle, probably 10, 12 days of January. We're looking, so you can see if it's really cold, really, really snowy, looking probably at a lighter type of snow, as far as weight goes. But that's when we see some heavy snow. And then the other heavy snow, we see the period probably 7 or 8 days at the very beginning of March. So whereas the cold is kind of concentrated from right now till the end of January, the snow will have been spread out a little bit more.
Now, obviously, a lot of people have to do some traveling over the Christmas season, towards Christmas Eve, 24th, 25th. Can we expect basically just cold temperatures for Christmas? Obviously, for most areas, it's definitely going to be a white Christmas, but is it going to be super, super cold for those traveling around Christmas?
I think it's going to be cold. It's not going to, it's not going to be, super, super, super cold. The chances of, heavy duty storms disrupting travel, at least, up where you are, I don't really see that happening. So it should be good traveling weather. People have to stay bundled up and be ready for anything in this day and age, be ready for anything. But I don't, to be honest with you, I don't really see much of a problem.
Now, how does this compare to last year, Jack, with the temperatures? I know some people are really good at remembering these sorts of things, down to the week. They keep records and such. But is this kind of the same weather we had last year, or were we a bit more warmer last year?
Well, it's hard to tell. What we do, Stacy, is we keep track of the whole meteorological winter, November through March, which is 5 months. And so we're barely into that. So it's hard to, I don't really have anything to compare it with. Preliminarily, looking at October, November, pretty much the same. Nothing really spectacularly out of whack. Last winter was kind of a crazy winter. We expect this winter to kind of be, I almost hate to say this, more predictable. It's like there's the cold, there's the snow, So I think that hopefully that'll work out that way, and it'll be less kind of off the wall and more like in the realm of normalness.
Now, it seems that either 1 or 2 weeks in January or in February, we get that where it gets really deep cold, wind chills minus 40 and below. Do you think that's something that we can expect again?
Well, we can always expect it. As I say, we expect a really super heavy duty cold to pretty much be over with by the end of January. But that's not to say, as well as I, all of your listeners and viewers know, we're going to get, spells of a day or 2 or 3, in February, even in March, where it's going to be crazy out there. But in terms of a real, sentence, we're sentencing you to such and so many days of cold and so on. That's going to be pretty much over with by the end of January, we hope.
Well, Jack, do you have any good news for us? I guess precipitation, farmers always looking for precipitation. So can we talk about that? A lot of people, maybe not snow fans, but realize that especially those in the farming world need the precipitation for the upcoming growing season.
Right. No, I think it'll be really good. Now, you note that there'll be a lot of precipitation in the ground. Precipitation itself over the course of the winter, we expect to be slightly greater than normal. We just expect less of it to be in the form of snow. And when the snow does come, as I've said, middle of January, beginning of March. So there'll be moisture in the ground. I'm looking at my chart for spring now, and it looks like spring is going to be, nothing really spectacular. April, slightly warmer than normal, but not to the extent that it's going to be like super muddy or like difficult to deal with. So I think what we're looking at as far as the tail end of winter goes and the beginning, and spring itself, I think for farmers and ranchers, I think it's going to be just fine from what we see right now.
Well, Jack, if people are looking to dig into this a little bit, they want to get right to the fine tooth comb with it and go through the weeks and the days and such. What's the best way to find the information from the almanac if you don't purchase it or if you want to purchase it? Where can you get that? And also, I know you guys always put some little extras online. Where can they find that information?
Sure. Well, we always encourage everybody to buy the OFA, Old Farmers Almanac, Canadian edition locally, if at all possible. We try to support local. If not, right now, the best way to do it is to go to Amazon. You can get quick delivery that way. But in general, if you can't find it locally, we discourage people from shopping out at our store because it takes longer than Amazon. We want you to have the OFA. We don't want to deny it to you. So lots of people in Alberta and Saskatchewan have used Amazon. It works great. So that's one thing to do. Another thing to do is go to almanac.ca, where there are hundreds and hundreds of free pages about, just about every, gardening, food, history, astronomy, weather, humor, everything you can imagine. So those are the two things. Try Amazon for the product if you can't get it locally, and also, go to almanac.ca. You can also, I'll tell you, Stacy, we have many subscribers in Alberta and Saskatchewan to our free newsletters. We have free weekly or daily newsletters you can get that have almanac-y type stuff in them. If you don't like them, just unsubscribe. So you can do that at almanac.ca too.
Well, Jack, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for joining us. And let's chat again when we're talking, heading into the spring and summer and more warm temperatures on the way the next time.
Yeah, let's do that. And just let me say, we know from our sales and our emails and our snail mail letters and everything else that we have many friends in our family in your area. And I just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, where you are from the Old Farmers Almanac. We really appreciate everybody.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with us today, Jack.
Thank you.